Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Living the Sweet Life. I'm your host, TJ Sweet, and on this podcast, I'm going to be sharing ways that will help you reshape your mindset, live with intention, and look at the world through a grateful lens. This week, I want to talk about a topic that probably gets all of us in some way, shape, or form, but it's about how do you move past those moments when your motivation to get something done or your motivation to accomplish a goal has waned, it's gone away, right? And so we all have these moments when motivation kind of takes a backseat and the prospect of taking action kind of feels like a feels like an obligation, feels like an uphill battle. But, you know, throughout this episode, I'm going to share three super powerful strategies that I've been able to use in my day-to-day life and in my career and in my personal life that really helped me take action, even when I guess I didn't, putting it simply, I didn't feel like taking action. So whenever that motivation and that fire is gone, I want to help you find ways to still do that. So the first step that I want to talk first about is cultivating discipline over motivation. I think oftentimes we rely too much on motivation and not enough on discipline. So motivation is like this fleeting muse that it kind of comes and goes, right? And it's relying solely on motivation to take action can feel like this roller coaster ride. So whenever we get super excited about something, everything's super clear to us. And then whenever some of that motivation starts to go away, we start to kind of lose interest and it starts to fall away and other things take our time. Like some procrastination comes in. So, but instead of trying to always find motivation, settle into this idea of cultivating discipline. So discipline's this, putting it simply, it's just this unwavering commitment to the goals, right? It's being patient. It's whether you feel like it or not, you do it anyway, right? There's going to be times we're going to have to move past our feelings of always wanting to do something or our feelings of being motivated or not. And it's really just this practice of showing up consistently that regardless of your emotional state is the thing that will help you go where you need to go. And so I've been doing this every day for the last 10 years. And I've had a crystal clear vision of where I want to go and how I want to make an impact in the world. But I've had to stay consistent because there's something to be said over consistency instead of just intensity. So I'm learning and growing and trying to figure out ways to pour into all of you and make this world a better place and help people accomplish their goals. And as I work with coaching clients who are starting their own business and, wanting to start a new relationship or maybe even just want to get their life back on track and develop some sustainable habits and reach some fitness goals or finance goals, it's all about consistency. Because I don't want to help people set goals that they accomplish, then they fall back. Because otherwise, I'm not doing my job. I'm not doing them any favors. So one of the first things, and I'll just give you one tip for every one of these, one action step for every one of these things I want to talk about. So to cultivate discipline over motivation, the one action step I want to give you is about creating a schedule or routine that aligns with your goals. Commit to it, even on the days when your motivation's not there. Be ready for those days. And how are you going to remind yourself to stay disciplined? Because it matters. Remember why you started. That'll keep you going. So discipline, once it's ingrained, becomes the driving force that propels you forward. And start telling yourself that you are somebody that is disciplined. That thought alone will help you whenever you don't feel like taking action. Because when you're somebody that's disciplined, you move past that feeling. Now, the second thing I want to give you, this great strategy and thought that's helped me, is anchoring your actions to your core values, to your identity, to who you feel like you are and who you want to be and how you want to impact the world. And so motivation falters when the connection between our actions and our values isn't very strong. Right. So revisit your core values, revisit who you want to be and how you want to be living a life and how you want to make an impact and how you want to feel every day and, how you want other people to feel. And these principles that define who you are and what you stand for will help you stay focused and committed and disciplined. So aligning your actions with your values provides this deeper and more enduring motivation that transcends this momentary feelings that come and go, right? So when you really identify with what you're doing and why you're doing it, it becomes much easier to keep doing it, even when you don't feel like doing it or it's not as convenient. So real quick on the action step for this one. What are your core values? What is your identity? How do you want to feel? What kind of life do you want? Because once you identify what kind of life you want, you will be crystal clear. You'll gain some clarity and focus on what you need to do to move closer to that. And so, how do your current goals align with the life that you want? Whether it's a relationship, your career, your finances, your fitness level, your business, how do your goals, your current actions, behaviors, thoughts, and mindset, how does it align with what you say you want? Because there's a lot of times we say we want something, but we don't align all of those other things with it. So write down, right? In the ways in which your actions contribute, move you closer to living the life that you want to be aligned with, living the life that you would say is valuable to you. This idea of writing down what's important to you and what kind of life you want, and then aligning your goals to those things will instill this sense of purpose. You've heard me talk about purpose. I just talked about it last week, but it will instill the sense of purpose that kind of transcends this sense of kind of fleeting emotions and motivation that kind of comes and goes. So the third thing I want to talk about is about this has really been probably one of the most powerful things for me. I've had to catch myself. I've had some people in my life that I'm the most grateful for kind of remind me of this. But it's the idea of embracing the power of micro progress, right? It's easy to get caught up in, I'm not where I want to be. But if you can say, I'm not where I want to be yet, that is what keeps motivation fresh, keeps your discipline going, keeps your inspiration strong, keeps you purpose driven. So the enormity of a task can be paralyzing. How much you want to do can sometimes prevent you from doing anything at all. So especially when your motivation is low, the size of a task will squash your motivation and discipline and even really honestly your desire to even do it anymore. You start to even wonder if it's something you even want. So break down your goals, break down your daily life, break down your habits, break down all of these things into the smallest steps possible. And just focus on getting better every day. There's obviously the great book about habits and about getting 1% better every day. And, by the end of the year, you'll be 365% better than you were the year before. And, but that gets daunting too. And so just giving yourself credit of, first of all, what is better, so that you can define what is 1% better. Because if we don't know what better means, if we don't know what progress looks like on our journey, that's probably our first step, right? So write down all these small steps that you need to take. But we keep calling them small, but they're not actually small. Just keep calling them the steps you need to take to get to where you want to go. And then celebrate these kind of micro victories, these moments of achievement. They kind of become the building blocks of your success. It makes you realize that you aren't where you used to be, but you still aren't where you want to be. But if we don't take a moment to celebrate and recognize that we're moving forward, it'll feel in our brains and our neural pathways, it'll feel like we're just walking on a treadmill. But when in fact you've been walking, you've been making steps, you've been progressing. But if we don't look around and recognize that, we won't find that discipline. We won't find that purpose and motivation to keep going, to move forward to where we're going and appreciate the journey and who we get to do it with. And it's really important to stop and think about who you're getting to live your life with. That alone is a great measure of progress, of who you get to spend your life with and how you're making a difference in their life. And so the one action step I want to give you here is really about identifying a task related to your goal that takes no longer than 10 minutes to complete. Now, I know you're probably out there thinking, yeah, right, I don't have anything that takes me less than 10 minutes. Find a way. Find a way is my only suggestion, because you may be taking too long. So find something that just takes you 10 minutes to complete. It could be meditation. It could be a gratitude practice. It could be something, right? Just get started, but commit to doing that. And then relish in the satisfaction of achieving that small win. Text somebody, call somebody, let somebody know that you've done it, that you set out the day, like what would make today a great day for you, and you did it. And then wake up every day and do that all over again and celebrate with yourself, even just on the way home, or just when you get home, or you're getting ready to wind down for bed, or whatever it is. In the mornings, think about all the things you've done. We just are so hard on ourselves that we haven't done everything that we wanted to do, that we barely remember of all of the things we've done because we don't take a second to stop and think about that. And so these victories of accomplishments that we have on a day-to-day basis, what they do scientifically, right? They release dopamine, oxytocin, but they actually create momentum. It starts to build self-confidence and self-belief, and it will make us take more action. So again, it's about embracing the power of micro progress, and it's really about breaking things down as small as possible and find something you can do in 10 minutes, 5 minutes, because I know you're probably strapped on time. But if you make time for this, it'll feel like the time of the rest of the day is completely worth it. So I kind of want to just kind of quickly wrap up. I just thinking about taking action um, when motivation wanes is a skill, right? It takes time, but once you master it, and again, I've been working on this for over 10 years because there's some days I don't feel like doing all the things I do, but it's actually just moments, right? I don't have days I don't feel like it anymore. When I first started, I did. When I first started, I thought, it's not going to work. I'm not doing the right things. I'm not reaching the right people, all these different things. But now I just have a moment. And then I stop and think about, who am I doing this for? I stop and think about the people that I'm the most grateful for and how I want to make a difference in their life. But once you have that skill of choosing discipline over motivation, it kind of propels you towards your goals consistently. And you're willing to set new goals because you trust yourself and cultivate this discipline. When you do this, it's as an ally, right? Your discipline is an ally. It's not your enemy. It's not, kind of anchor your actions to your core values, like I've talked about. And for that enduring motivation and that you need and inspiration that you need, embrace this power of micro progress, like I've already said. And, it's not about waiting for the perfect moment of like a surge of motivation. It's about taking time to be deliberate, right? This is living with intentions, what we talk about all the time. And it's about taking intentional steps towards the life that you want and the goals that you have. But it's doing it one step at a time. It's easy to look at the full set of things that you have to do, and it's easy to look at the full journey. Be inspired by that. When you start to recognize that you're intimidated by that, take that as a moment to learn as opposed to a moment to stop. And so as you implement these things I've just talked to you about, I think you'll be able to find that motivation feels a little bit more like an opportunity. Motivation feels like it's intrinsic instead of extrinsic, but it actually is motivation that creates motivation and creates this kind of perfect harmony, this perfect kind of propels you into a cycle, right? That propels you forward to the life that you actually want to be living. And I hope as these three things help you in your life, that you feel empowered to keep taking those intentional steps towards your life. I just want to say thank you for listening to this episode. Thank you for watching. I'm broadcasting on YouTube and on every platform that you can find your podcast. And I hope that you hit the subscribe button so that you know when these episodes come out. They come out every Monday. I'm calling it Mindset Monday, right? We can call it Motivation Mindset Monday this week. But, if you have questions, or if you're somebody who struggles with motivation or clarity or focus or any of those things, please reach out to me, because I would love to help you accomplish your goals. The goal of a coach and like what I get to do is not about having people rely on me. It's having them getting back to trusting themselves, that they're capable of fantastic things in their own lives and living the life that they want to be living. So you can reach out to me through my website of tjsweet.net, or you can reach out to me on social media, tjsweet_ on pretty much every platform. And myself or my team will make sure that we connect with you right away. And, I appreciate the support. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you listening. And I hope more and more episodes. We have great interviews coming up with some fantastic people out in the world doing great things, great leaders that have worked with people all over the world. Interviews are coming back. I've been doing a lot of monologues here for quite some time, but interviews are coming back, and they're going to be fantastic. And the goal is to help you all see what's possible and believe that what's possible is possible for you. So I'll remind you, like I do in every episode, that you always have the power and the choice to reshape your mindset, live with intention, and look at the world through a grateful lens. Till the next episode, never stop.